So, a story sort of close to home for me. US intelligence documents outlining Israel's potential attack plan on Iran leaked. Report is from the Jerusalem Post. The timing of the leak comes as Israel is completing preparations for a retaliatory strike on Iran in response to the October 1 missile attack. We've had numerous, honestly, by this point, but not all obviously were from Iran, some from its proxies, funded by it. So, I can't help but ask myself sometimes, and I will see soon why, whether there is a division in the United States on who to back in the Middle East. And this essentially culminates in a gigantic waste of your taxpayer dollars because you end up literally funding and bankrolling everyone. So let's get to it. Senior American officials voiced serious concern on Saturday following the leak of two US intelligence documents allegedly outlining Israel's preparations for a potential strike on Iran. These documents were published by a Telegram account linked to Iran. While both the US Department of Defense and the Office of the Director of National Intelligence declined to comment on the leaked documents, they did not deny their authenticity. The timing of the leak comes as Israel is completing preparations for a retaliatory strike. We already read that in the subheadline. An unnamed senior Israeli official remarked Israel's defense establishment is aware of the leak and takes it very seriously. So it sounds as though it's real, it's true information that was leaked. I have no recollection of anything similar ever happening before, like the US leaking any information that is, on the Israeli military that might be harmful to us, to our enemies. Never happened before as far as I can remember. The leak occurred on Friday when the Middle East Spectator Telegram channel claimed it had received documents about Israel's strike preparations from a source within the US intelligence community. This Telegram channel is known for publishing pro-Iranian propaganda, and its associated Twitter account states that its operators are based in Iran. The documents included an alleged report from the US Department of Defense's Visual Intelligence Agency, which had been circulated within the US intelligence community 3 days earlier. The report detailed The report detailed alleged recent actions at Israel Air Force bases, including the movement of advanced munitions believed to be intended for a strike on Iran. The report also noted that intelligence obtained through wiretaps indicated that the IAF, the Israeli Air Force, conducted an exercise this week involving fighter jets and drones as part of its strike preparations. The leaked documents reportedly revealed close surveillance by US intelligence on Israel's preparations for a strike on Iran, which I will believe. I think all countries, friendly or not, are trying to spy on each other, and especially because we do have a close relationship with the US, what we do affects their image and could potentially cause diplomatic problems for them. It could also involve them in our conflicts. So obviously they want to keep a close eye, especially because it doesn't seem as though there's a very good relationship right now between the Kamala Harris administration and our Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. I mean, honestly, I dislike both, but I think I dislike Kamala Harris a lot more. I'm not sure how biased that makes me. I just think she's a far more corrupt and unpleasant person, despite the fact that our Prime Minister is apparently supposedly quite corrupt himself. Anyway, the leaked documents, the alleged leak also highlights a severe security breach within the US intelligence community, allowing highly classified information to reach entities affiliated with Iran. American officials described the incident as extremely serious, but noted that, in their view, the leak is unlikely to affect Israel's operational plans, so it's not going to sway anyone to change their plans going forward. What I wanted to highlight here is you are funding both sides. Reuters, US to give 157 million in humanitarian aid in response to Lebanon crisis. And there's also this. This is factcheck.org that basically Biden did an unfreezing of $16 billion to Iran. They had funds that were frozen and he released them. Then there's the United States announcing nearly $336 million in humanitarian assistance to support Palestinians in Gaza and the West Bank. And before you say, well, the Lebanon and Gaza stuff, it's humanitarian aid. No, Hamas caught on film stealing Gaza aid again. Gazans approaching the trucks seized by the terror group are immediately fired upon. This happens all the time, and Hezbollah is no different. So, especially during a conflict, an armed conflict between Israel and, Hezbollah or Hamas or Iran, if you unfreeze the money or give them aid, what will happen is that the militants are going to take it all. I think they'll take a lot of it anyway. They are very corrupt in these nations, but especially during, open warfare, they're just going to take everything and use it to fight us. So what you end up doing is giving Israel aid to defend itself and then giving its enemies aid so they can keep going. Nobody's going to run out of resources because we're all bankrupt by Uncle Sam. Thank you. I mean, I do sincerely thank those who, help my country, for example, pay for the Iron Dome anti-missile defense, defending my house from, being blown up by rockets from Iran. My neighbors, my family, my friends, everyone being kept safe because Iron Dome missiles funded by Americans blow up the rockets that are supposed to kill us in midair. Thanks. But can you please not bankroll the bad guys too? I mean, we are supposed to be your closest allies, maybe be a bit more partial to us? What's even the point of bankrolling everyone in a war? It's just going to keep going forever. More people will die, you'll spend more money, and nothing will get done. I mean, it's just, I know, something will get done. Your defense companies, all of the, Lockheed Martin and the like the defense, how to put it, industry is going to make a lot of money. They're going to get very rich. Now that's going to happen. And I understand people like Nancy Pelosi were far-sighted in the extreme and bought lots of shares in those companies just before the conflict between Israel and, the October 7th stuff happened. So I guess they are going to make bank. That's true. There's a silver lining, right? Someone is going to benefit from this, just not you or me, unfortunately. Well, I personally, how to put it? It's very sad that we've reached this point where people that are corrupt in power can openly just bankroll all sides of the conflict, basically just paying for more people to be ended, off the place of the planet, and nothing to be achieved. Well, they line their pockets, and we all just move on with our day. It's like, there's nothing we can do, nothing to see here, this is normal now. Okay. I find it horrendous, abhorrent. Just, I thought, it used to be that, okay, Iran was backed by Russia. Israel was backed by the United States. A sight we've seen many times in many different theaters, many different countries having, one country or even one side in a civil war bankrolled by the US, the other by Russia. It happened before, Russia and China after the Soviet Union collapsed. Okay. But now there's not even that distinction. They're not even putting up any kind of play for us to make us believe. No, it's just, hey, one arm of the US government funding Israel, the other is funding, Hezbollah and Iran and Hamas. Okay. Just, it's so obvious. It's so on the nose. It's like hitting you on the face with a brick. Like saying, yeah, we're corrupt. Yeah, we're making money off the misery and the lives lost. So, what you gonna do about it? Apparently nothing. None of us are gonna do anything. This is why I really want Trump to win. When he was in office, none of that happened. We had none of it. And honestly, I don't think he's particularly keen on financing the defense of Israel if he doesn't have to. Like, if he can, just keep the war from happening, so that nobody gets to be, ended, and he doesn't have to spend American taxpayer dollars, I think he'll be much happier that way. And I do think he's a good friend of Israel. I do think he will help us if we need it, but I think he'd much rather we didn't need it at all, because I don't think he's in the pocket of the defense industry in the US. That's another thing. I always felt as though whenever Israel was gaining steam in any kind of war with Hamas, or, usually it's with the Hamas and the Palestinians, but sometimes with Lebanon as well, and then Hezbollah there. At first, it always starts with an attack on Israel. Lots of people die, Then we gear up and go to war with them. Then we slowly work our way through, you know, all of the stashes of weapons and ammunitions they have, the terror tunnels, all that sort of stuff. And when we pick up steam and we start to win, then suddenly all the world goes, oh no, you're causing a humanitarian crisis. You're ending too many innocent civilians. Quickly stop. And so we never actually get to dismantle any of these organizations, you know? After Trump got rid of ISIS, they never came back. Why can't we do the same? I think, in my opinion, just wild speculation here, it's because if we did, then there would be no next conflict to fund, which means no more taxpayer dollars from the US going to the defense industry. What will Lockheed Martin do? What will Nancy Pelosi and her friends do? How will they fund their next trip to, I don't know, whatever island they go to now to get their kicks? Well, this is all wild speculation. Allegedly, none of it is evidence. Don't take it too seriously. Wouldn't want to be sued. Anyway, that's enough for now for me today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.